Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through my process of making the Paul McCartney Fair Isle inspired Magical Mystery Tour sweater vest. He wore it in the film The Magical Mystery Tour, and it was around the time of 1976 when the album was also released. The original photo that I had come across was the photo of Paul with the gang hanging out the top of a car pointing at something, and for some reason this image just stuck in my head and I just had to make that sweater vest. It was either I try to make my own even if I fail, or pay a whopping $252.77 for someone on Etsy to hand make me one, and that's not really what I was going for. So the next step was to try to find patterns or tutorials online. But I did see someone on TikTok, and I will link them right here and down below, but they basically gave like a very simple pattern, more of like a picture, and that's just what kicked it in for me. That's just what put me in the right mindset to start making this. I thought it's simple enough, it's just stuck in knit stitch, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to process. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the process, and I'm just going to get straight into it. So I ended up using two knitting needles, the 3.5mm, also the 4.5mm, 80 centimeters in length, 8 colors, orange, I should have used dark brown, green, dark blue, yellow, light blue, and pink and red. Now the first thing that I needed to do was make a swatch to see how many stitches I initially need to cast on to get the desired size. I was going for like a men's large, but it ended up turning into more of like a medium. It's like quite snug even on me. But yeah, I just ended up measuring the width and the height of just an ordinary jumper that I owned at home, and basically I made a swatch of around 20 stitches in rib stitch 2x2, and I cast that off, and whatever length that was, I just had to multiply that by how many centimeters the width was, and that's kind of what I ended up doing, and it worked out. I hope that makes sense, but yeah. Hopefully I've done this correctly. I'm not the best at math, but I've made my little swatch just because I didn't know the stretch. I need to cast on 120 stitches, which is actually not that bad. I thought I'd need to do a lot more, but so that's what I'm gonna do right now, and I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done.
It means Beatles, doesn't it? You know, that's just a name. You know, like shoe. Means shoe.
The shoes. You see, we could have been called the shoes for all you know.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me looking all red. I've been sitting in front of the heater. I've cast on exactly 120. I counted it like 10 times. I'm gonna count it one more time before I begin. But then I can finally start actual ribbing.
And in the middle of negotiations, you break down.
It's dark outside, but I've been knitting for like 2.5 hours now, and this is what I've got. Made a mistake right here, if you can see. Once you get to like the third row, it becomes a lot faster and you get the hang of it. This is literally gonna take me forever, but I think I'm doing okay. I'm doing alright so far. Okay, see you guys soon. Okay. So I've been working on it the last couple of days for like an hour at a time, and so far I've got this much of the ribbing done. I'm really not too sure how long the original sweater the ribbing is, because honestly I've done like 15 or 16 rows and I just feel like it's still not long enough. I might do another 6 rows. Yeah, I might do another 5, 6 rows, something like that. I have stuffed it up in a few different areas, but I just honestly didn't feel like taking it out, and it's not that noticeable. I've decided to make this the back piece. So, you know, like for example, this part here, there's like 2 stitches there that are clearly not, on this row, that are clearly not rib stitch. They're purl, and that was just an accident. I didn't feel like, I should have gone back and fixed it, but it's not that noticeable. One big mistake at the start though was this part right here. I'm planning on putting this on the inside because the back part doesn't look as bad, but as you can see, I don't know what happened there. Actually, I do know what happened. As I was changing from either a knit to a purl stitch or vice versa, from a purl to a knit, you're supposed to take the strand of wool. You're meant to, if you're doing a purl, you're meant to take it forward towards you. And if you're doing a knit, you need to take it backwards, like away from you. And so that's what happened at the start, is that this is just me forgetting to take it to the different sides, and that's why there's like, it's gone all lumpy and bumpy. But I quickly realized that and fixed it in the next, and made sure that I didn't do that in the next rows. And I haven't done that since. It's just that one section that looks a bit janky. But yeah, overall, maybe the side's a bit better. Overall, it looks pretty decent. I'm just going to be working on those last few rows today, and then I'll be changing over to the bigger needles to start doing the actual color work part of it. So one of the problems I've come across is I find that every time you put your knitting down for like to just continue the next day, when you come back to your knitting after not doing it for a day, the overall feeling is different, like your grip and everything, and it really shows in each row. Like some of these rows are super loose and some of them are really tight, and it makes it look like a mistake, but they weren't. So that's kind of annoying. But ultimately, I've decided to go a little bit thicker. I guess that would be more like the original. I don't know. I've seen a lot of pictures of the original, and well, they're not good quality, and he seems to always be covering the bottom part, so that's a little bit annoying, unless I just haven't looked hard enough. I did like 3 extra rows, and I feel like that I'm feeling a lot better with that sort of length. I just feel like if I make it any longer, it's gonna kind of look comical or silly. Okay. Please excuse my appearance. I just got out of the rain. I just wanted to show you I got more wool. So we have 4 more colors to add to the vest. I need 2 more colors. 2 more colors after this, and hopefully 1 ball will suffice.
All seem to enjoy it. So we had a good time, you know. What's the point in being serious all the time?
Really bad lighting, sorry, but just wanted to show you I've actually started knitting the Colorwork patchwork. Colorwork, no, it's Colorwork, and it is taking so long. So far this is what I have. This is what the back looks like. I think I'm doing a pretty good job with the floats being quite loose. I'm just gonna keep working on it. So I've been knitting for a little while on this one back panel, and I'm almost finished. This is what I have so far. I am going to start, after like a couple more rows, I'm gonna start decreasing on the sides, just so that it'll have like a slight this shape, I guess. Yeah, still yet to learn how to do that. I'm guessing once I finish a couple more rows, I'm gonna have to figure that out, and yeah.
The next thing that I got is this, kind of like a similar vibe, but this is actually a romper, which is really cute. Love that. Very like loose and flowy on me as well. Probably a little bit big, but I think it'll be fine. Even just as like a little cover up, like a bathing suit I need for something this summer, I think that'll be. Got a couple of scarves. I was wearing them, so yeah, with curling out my hair and everything. This is the other scarf that I got
Okay. I'm done. One side is done, it's complete. I didn't really take into account the shoulder length. I guess I was meant to decrease. I mean, for myself, it's a bit wide. So hopefully it fits. Fits pretty well. It's pretty snug. I ended up adding an extra row just because I forgot that I needed to end on a knit stitch so that I can cast off. I can finally fold it. You know when you fold your work and it's just like, it feels like a real piece. So I can fold it. It feels like, yeah. It's a bit fuzzy, but 100% wool, and it's so warm already. And that's piece number 1, back piece. On to the next one. The dog's like, I want to be really loud when you decide to start filming. I'm just gonna bang on all the windows. Hi, it's the 1st of December. It's like 3 months later, and I've done hardly anything. You would think that I would have finished this project by now, but I haven't. And now I've officially I have officially decided that it will become a Christmas present. I have my work here. I probably showed you that the first panel is completely done, and I'm just working on the second panel, which will be the front. I have made quite a lot of progress within the last 5 days or something. So I think the last time I showed you, this is the front piece. I think the last time I showed you, I must have been up to just like halfway down here or something. And I'm up to the bit, I will show you, but I'm up to the bit where I'm gonna start decreasing for the arms. And then I've also got to, I'm still not sure how to do it, but I've got to do like 2 separate pieces because I'm doing like a V-neck sort of thing. I need to look at my reference photos because I don't know how low it's supposed to come. And I'm going to be doing like ribbing around it, which I have to figure out as well. I just think it's really funny that I started this in the middle of winter, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started this towards the end of winter in Australia. And today is the first day of summer. Just in time for summer. Perfect timing. I am planning on like linking tutorials for how to like how to increase and how to decrease, or I'll probably link a tutorial on how to like make the overall shape. I'm just kind of finding videos here and there, but yeah, it's just the satisfaction of like working on a piece and knowing that it's finished and like learning so much. Like I'm just learning as I'm going. Like I said, the only thing I've ever knit in my life is like a scarf, and that was just like a simple knit purl sort of thing. So I'm actually really proud of myself that I can actually achieve this. Like if I saw this online, I actually did. I saw a couple of people have made it, and I was just like, man, I could never do that. It just looks too complicated. Like, I almost gave up. And I'm very familiar with crochet, although I haven't done it in like years, just haven't had time. So I know that in a way, crochet, at least for me, is like easier, more simple. Just I know how, like, I don't follow patterns with crochet. I just kind of probably should, but I just kind of, you know, I know how to decrease, how to increase. I know how to do all that because I learnt it all in high school. I used to do that quite a lot. Not that I really made anything worth keeping, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, anyways, back to my point is that I took a look at this and I was just like, man, that is obviously knit. It's too complicated. But then within like a day, I was just like, you know what? No, I can learn something new. It can't be that hard. If someone else could do it, then so can I. I'm just like, it's just quite amazing what you can learn if you just like try. So I might have run into a little bit of a problem. This is where I'm up to. This is the back piece facing just front, and this is the front piece, and they're kind of like lined up. So I've looked at my reference photo and I've realized, I mean, I'm not really sure by how much. I think I was supposed to start the V for the neckline somewhere down here. And I'm just really not sure if I should like undo all of that progress, or will I be okay with like a smaller neck opening. I really don't want to undo this, especially because I've started decreasing on the sides already. But what will most likely happen is I'm probably just going to start doing the two separate like shoulder things. It's just so hard when everything is so flat to see how big the head hole is going to be, and plus I'm going to have to do like ribbing around, and I don't want to have to compromise and do like a thinner, you know, less rows of ribbing. Like, I still want it to be like a good amount to match like the sleeves. Hopefully it's not too late, and I think I might just go ahead and try, because it goes all the way up there, and it might be enough. It might be enough, because this is going to wrap around like the shoulder, the top part. But yeah, hopefully it's enough room and it won't make a teeny tiny little head hole. So yeah, quite a major update, and I'll see you soon. So at this very moment, I have 116 individual stitches. So I'm going to have to section off 58 stitches, and then that'll make me in the middle. I have put the string in the left part. So basically what you're meant to do is you're meant to tie this together just so that the knots don't come undone. So I'm just gonna count. Apparently it's supposed to be 58 on each side. And then basically what you're going to do, you slip the left part all the way up until the middle, and then you just keep knitting the right to get that shape just on the right side, if that makes any sense. Oh my gosh. Look how handsome he is. Sitting in the sun. He does love his sunlight. This is terrifying. Like, I don't want to slip the stitches. but that's one way. Not 100% sure about this, but I think we're gonna have to do, just because I didn't start the neck line down like here, it would have been like a gradual sort of curve, but because we're starting so much up here and we literally only have like that much more to go, we're gonna have to make it more steep than it would be. Otherwise, I have a feeling the neck hole will be like too narrow, too small. So honestly, that didn't take too long. This is the front piece, what it's looking like. Finished off the row with casting off, and then I tied like a knot at the very end. That's what it looks like from the back. That's all the color changes. And it's really not perfect, like, you know, all of the color changes, they kind of got mushed together sometimes. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the left side. It's pretty much the same thing, except you're going to be doing a left lean. So I've just connected this side. It's something called a mattress stitch, and as you can see, I've left an armhole. It's quite a challenge trying to line the colors up. It's definitely not perfect. That's one side done, and then I'm just gonna do the same to the other side.
Ear warmer headband. And you remember at the beginning of the video when I said I was like,
Clipology is your ticket to blockbuster fun.
Okay, the sides and the top are officially all put together. For the first time, we're gonna do a try on. This is really not the right shirt. I'm just really afraid to like rip it. Ooh. Wow. It's so warm. Oh, but it feels really heavy, like, so it's definitely roomy. Oh, I can't believe it's almost finally done. I think I was meant to start decreasing here. It's a little baggy here, and like the shoulders like fully unraveled. It's just really big, but it fits me really nicely around here. I think that's a little uneven. Can you see that? It dips down. It's okay. Yeah. Let's get to the next step.
Don't know. I like any of them. Mockers I like. I think they're the best. No real preferences.
So this is what it's looking like so far. It's just like around the needle. That's the start of the needle and it's the end of it. And I'm assuming that you just continue to do rib stitch all the way around, 2 by 2, just like the end, until you have a desired width. Casting off is the term. So that's one cast off with a knit. So we officially have one sleeve done. Just really roomy here, and when I try it on, most of the thing just like tucks over, which is quite annoying. I did around 7 or 8 rows of just 2 knit, 2 purl, and then I casted it off in the same way. And then I'm just onto the right one, and then the neckline. I'm a little disappointed with the arms. It's just, there seems like so much material here. It just kind of like hides under there. Onto the neckline, and then I'm done.
You're the brown all day.
What do you call that color?
I color.
Oh.
This might be extremely difficult to do, but I'm going to try to take in the sides here, and I'm honestly not sure how that's going to work. I'm just going to try to fix it so that it fits a little better. I technically would have been finished by now, but looks like we hit a bit of a rocky part, but I think there's still hope. I think I can save this. It is extremely baggy in the armpit section, and that kind of makes the ribbed sleeve like sink in, as you can see. Just kind of disappears, and like that's actually what it looks like when you wear it. It just kind of sinks in. So I was looking up something called steeking. Sure, I'm going to try to do that. There's a couple ways you can do it. You just secure the stitches and then you cut what you need to cut off, because that's pretty much what I need to do. I need to somehow cut like all of this off, an inch or so from both sides, from the front and back. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna have to frog the sleeves. I'm gonna have to straight and then horizontal, so it'll be like boop, boop, and then hopefully with the ribbing I can kind of curve it, you know, do some decreases or something like that. I feel like that's probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, just gonna do that. Just gonna do that real quick. Oh my god, guys, I cut it. I haven't cut the back piece. This is the front piece. And I cut it. That's the part that I cut. Right there. So all of that's going to go to waste. But luckily, I think I've done it correctly. And I've secured all the stitches with just like putting the needle through. And I've also steeked, I think it's called, a crochet border all the way to the top of, oh, I also had to like undo the top, but I steeked it all the way to the top, so now it's only going to be like that much of the shoulder. And so I'm going to get rid of all of this. Yes, it leaves a straight, ugly straight cut, but I'm hopefully going to curve the rib hem sort of thing so that it's not so noticeable, and hopefully I can put the new loops for the ribbing onto here, because it's quite, I didn't realize how thick it was going to be. Not that it looks that bad, it's just really silly I've had to do this. But it's got more of this shape. I tried sewing it, but we're gonna reattach the shoulder bits and then finally do the arms again. I'm just worried because this is clearly not straight. Don't want it to be wonky. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that now and it'll be done. Hello again. It's been quite a while since I last updated you on how the vest has turned out. I'm pretty sure the last thing I filmed was me cutting the sides, and I think I also showed a little bit of me like steeking the sides, and I like did a crochet border in here. I also ended up unraveling the whole neck ribbing because it just looked atrocious. It wasn't in the middle. The vest itself is officially done. It's hanging up there. It's kind of just like a little art piece on the wall at the moment. I'm still yet to sew in quite a lot of ends, but we're not going to talk about that. This is the overall shape now. Before it was quite boxy and it was like just basically a square. I did end up cutting it exactly how I thought I would have to cut it, which is like straight and then horizontal. But I think I did a pretty good job with trying to like curve the ribbing to make it look more like a natural curve, like I naturally decreased, which I did not. I had quite a lot of issues with getting the right shape. But this is pretty much how it's turned out, and I fixed up the collar. It looks a lot neater, although I only realized this after I finished everything. The collar is like nowhere near true to the original. The original's is a lot thinner and it's like goes a lot lower. I think it still turned out fine. It's just an overall different, slightly different shape, but it's neat now. It's in the middle. It's a nice, it's much better than what it was. It used to have a hole and it was just all janky and crooked, and I fixed that. Once I steeked the sides, I had a huge issue. It actually all started to come undone along the sides, but if you look really, really closely, I had to hand sew. Like it does not look pretty. Like this is what it looks like on the inside of the sleeve. And there's just no way that I can tuck those ends in. They're just too short because that's what I cut. But if you look really, really close, you might be able to see thread, just like orange. orange thread throughout the ends. I'm not really sure if you can see, but I had to hand sew just so that these won't come loose in the future. But so far, nothing's come undone, and it looks pretty neat. You can't, it's like you could never tell that I had such a huge issue and I had to cut off so much of the sides. So, you know, that's good. In that way, I think it's a pretty big win. So this is the finished piece. I'll show you a proper like try on. I'm so glad that I took the chance and I made it, because I've learnt so much from this, and although it took me over half a year to make, it's finally done, and hopefully it'll get some fair use and be worn quite a bit in the fall and winter time. I honestly didn't know it would take this long to make. But I'm glad I stuck with it, because now I have such a beautiful piece, and although it's not perfect, I can say that it's mine and I made it, and it's an achievement. I'm gonna link everything down below, what I needed to achieve this. That was another challenge. I had to find out how to do all these tiny little components of it, and it took me a long time to find like reliable sources and teachers online. Yeah, in the end I found what I needed to complete it, and I'm grateful for all the tutorials online, and YouTube is just like the best learning platform in my opinion. That brings me to the end of the video, and once again, thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far, or thank you for clicking on the video. I hope you found it enjoyable or amusing or interesting. I'm finally glad that it's done. So I'll see you on the next video that I make, whenever that is. And yeah, I'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. See you next time.